ease of execution to what EG has to do. At least in the team fights toward the end game, it's like NaVi have to execute it completely perfectly, whereas EG has some leeway. Like, they don't need to perfectly combine their abilities, they just need to slowly siege down the towers together. And this was the part of the draft that we got to before the remake, so there's no surprises for me here with the Ogre Magi first pick for EG and NaVi getting Batrider Venom. Now, what's interesting about this is that Brew and DP are actually in the pool still for EG.
Yeah,
surprising.
And NaVi going for this Veno, it's kind of a block pick, I feel. I mean, they have run it on occasion for Havost, I think, but I don't view it as like a great NaVi hero, honestly.
Me neither. There's been, I guess the times when NaVi used Venomancer the best was back with the old NaVi roster with Puppy as the captain, because they would run like different types of strategies where the core Venomancers fit better. But yeah, with the new roster for NaVi, I don't feel like we've seen much core Veno, and what we've seen hasn't left like a mark on my memory. So we're gonna see if they can pull up a big performance here. This is of course a very important game. Whoever wins this is guaranteed top 3 in the tournament.
And they have a date with Secret, who looked pretty dominant, honestly, in their first match.
They were good against Tinker. Realistically in this tournament, based on day 1, we were saying EG were on pretty much another level than all the other teams. Today, I think Secret really has stepped up for me, so maybe that would be a really interesting winners bracket final between those two teams. And we're gonna see whether
EG, the Slayers
of the Pudge.
I mean, why don't they just pick an anti-mage now? You know, like why not? Jesus, anti-fun from EG. Terrible stuff. Are they really afraid of Pudge this game? Ogre's generally Pudge excels against squishy heroes. Ogre's durable. Lycan can just shapeshift to run away. I guess they just don't want to get cheesed. It kind of reminds me of how the Chinese teams used to ban against NaVi.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, okay, if we get to play our stable Dota, we're confident we'll beat you in a standard game. We don't want to have to play a weird game. That's the only explanation I really have. I don't feel like Pudge is a game changer here. Necessarily, anyway. It can be a game changer.
It just annoyed them, and you don't want... A big part of Dota is, of course, like the mental state you're in and how you feel like you can play the game, and if it's annoying them and they feel like they have a free ban, just get it out of the way so you don't have to think about it for the rest of the draft, and you can focus on, if you will, more standard picks, to be honest, because I think EG play against a Pudge like once every half year.
Yeah.
So they don't
it's definitely a hero that you're better... It's sort of like a Mirana, except Mirana actually sees a lot of play, where... the more you play against it, the better you are at anticipating the arrows, and similarly for the hooks. Well, NaVi now will ban out the Nature's Prophet. It's something that EG do pull out of the hat on occasion. We saw the Arteezy solo mid Prophet the other day. They used to run a lot more Universe Prophet, but he's been almost exclusively on those team fight tempo controllers, and we've seen the Zai 4 position in this tournament. It synergizes obviously well with the Lycan. One thing that hasn't changed with Lycan is Hal is still ridiculous. Yeah. So anyone you get who can either just work on towers with that, or otherwise build some Necrobooks to allow the team to push faster, things along those lines, that synergy is still 100% there, even if the ult has the transformation time and isn't necessarily as strong.
And when you see EG opening the picks like this, once again, if you're NaVi, you know there's going to be some sort of push coming. EG generally don't pick, or if ever, this Lycan without some sort of pushing core around it to try to bring down towers early. So they do have, that's the good thing about the Venomancer, I guess. They block it from EG, and it's pretty good at defending at the same time. So it's like a multi-purpose pick, and now...
A push into this.
Brewmaster, good luck. Pushing into Brew, Batrider, and Plague Wards is going to be very difficult for EG. I like this pick a lot, and now... There's another thing about this Brew pick that's really useful, because I think it's one of the greatest counters in the game to Abaddon that EG love to play a lot.
Just cycling him.
You just cycle on him twice. He's out for like a good 10 seconds, and during that time you know that you can reliably land your stuns.
Yeah. And it gives you a lot of tools against Lycan. He almost has to go for a BKB to deal with the... And now AoE Drunken Haze, so that can be a real problem for him. The clap attack speed slow is pretty nice, and Bruce tanky. Like, you can't really go toe-to-toe with him without MKB Abyssal Blade, which is a big commitment and a ton of gold to spend. Still, Lycan has a certain amount of rat available to him, and it's not like you have to play purely push Dota. He offers you something in the fights, but you pick this hero, your game plan is to take towers, snowball from a gold lead. That could be difficult for EG, and I guess the question becomes, can they find some openings early to give Arteezy, assuming he's playing it, a lot of breathing room on this hero? They go Visage now. Huh. 2 melee heroes already picked up. I don't think we'll see the Drow.
I was instinctively thinking the Drow right here, but I don't know how good she is.
I actually did see a Drow-like in Visage, and it was ridiculous. But if they go that route with this Bristleback pick and
I think
the
Drow
Brew,
would be awful right
that
now.
could just get demolished. Bristleback is also great against familiars.
Yeah, he counters the familiars. He gets up in the face of Drow to remove the armor, or the aura, sorry, or the passive. Wow. Okay, marksmanship. The ultimate gets removed.
Just deletes your armor.
And the good thing about Drow, though, is Gust is really good against both Batrider and Brew. So there's some merit to it, but I don't think it's the idea for evil geniuses here to grab a Drow. I think it's too greedy. I think they'll be looking for something that...
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know. I actually think this is a pretty tricky position to be in for them. That Bristleback pick, I think, took them off guard.
I think they might have been thinking Drow. I have seen a few teams run this. What was it? Oh, it's one of the Chinese teams. I think it was Lai Gaming. Ran it in one of the qualifiers to Starladder or the Summit. I can't remember at this point, but it was really good. Like you could basically kind of the old 2010 eHome way of playing Dota, where you run the Tricore and maybe 1 or 2 dies, but the others get farm. They would rat the game away, and with the Necrobulk and Lycan, the triple familiars and the Drow, someone was always taking a building, a tier 3, a Rax. You could win the game that way, but they don't go for the Drow, which I agree with you. I think that would have been a trap. They go for a Weaver here.
This is a good Weaver game. I think this
is. There's only Lasso to control him.
There's a couple of things about it. They don't have any silence. They do have the boulder toss from the Brewmaster in the split, as well as the Lasso, but they don't have single target burst, right? So even if you Lasso that Weaver, you need to kill it too. And that's not going to be an easy task, especially not once Weaver gets a little bit of farm and there's familiars and maybe they're giving a little bit of space, just dropping down, buying time, and then you time-lapse out. This is a very, there are just these kind of games where in the draft it seems like every single pick is a counter pick to the previous ones, and it's felt that way the whole way through the draft right now from both teams. So really...
In that case, he who has last pick wins.
Exactly. I was about to say, EG sitting on the overall last pick might be getting a really crucial final pickup here. But they seem unintimidated by the Brew, to be honest. They're not counterpicking it at all.
Yeah. I mean, they can build BKBs on Weaver and Lycan, which is a decent solution to most of his annoying debuffs, but you still have to worry about his passive evasion, at least, unable to burst him down quickly. Na'Vi with their final pick. EG will ban out the Bane, and you would assume it's a support coming. There's that slight chance that they could run a support Veno and a jungle bat, but then Lycan and Weaver both just get free farm in the laning stage. So, if whatever they go Sin, it has to give them ideally lockdown on Weaver, and they just don't have stuns.
Damage.
Yeah, and then Skywrath would have been perfect here, but I mean that's a long gone hero at this point. Who else can fill that role?
Support with single target, heavy damage, and a stun or a silence. Venge is a possibility, I guess. It's not ideal. Lion, which they ran in game 1, could be pulled out here. Played by FNG in that game.
There's Rubik, but doesn't give you that much stun. Could maybe if you steal like a Fire Blast. He's good versus Weaver though.
Stealing Sakuchi is amazing. And stealing the familiars if you get that, which is difficult, but sometimes it does happen that you are able to steal that. Or stealing the new Lycan ultimate. That's pretty good.
Stand in place for 1.5 seconds, just die to Weaver right clicks.
That's the optimistic approach right there. Well, I don't know. I would say best 3 picks off the top of my head. Rubik is one of them, Line is the other, and the third, maybe even Shadow Shaman, which we haven't seen for a very long time.
Ooh.
But with this kind of lineup, they could actually push towers really fast and just outpush EG.
I like Shadow Shaman here, and I don't know that EG can punish it because they're running this Visage. And the support here, I assume the Veno is a support, is strong defensively if EG try to go aggressive. Is a little bit... Well, Ogre Weaver still... Geez, Ogre Weaver Visage could be a bit scary.
Yeah.
They'll go Line. Okay, similar
line.
idea. They get a Hex, they get an Impale, and EG instantly onto the Venge. So a lot of buffs for their cores. Bloodlust, the minus armor of the Venge, as well as the Aura. And that means it's a core Ogre? I think this is a core Ogre, right? Maybe
or
a core Venge.
Fear on the Visage, which I think is No, that's pretty unlikely with the Weaver, yeah. Maybe it's a core ogre here for Universe. It looks like EG haven't decided yet or just cloaking it for now.
And they could well be swapping these anyway, regardless of what we see. The core ogre has been very successful for one team from North America. That's Root Gaming. Haven't really seen it in a big match, though. But it's been dominant on a small stage in online play.
Fear's going to grab the Weaver.
Universe Ogre incoming? I
Yeah,
don't think he'll be on
You're right.
And the Zai Visage would make sense.
It's one of Psy's really good heroes that I feel like he doesn't play as often anymore as he used to for Team EG, but he's definitely capable on this hero. And well, I want to say one thing. If Navi get off to a good start in the Bristleback, this is perhaps the #1 best hero in the entirety of the Dota 2 hero pool against Visage and Lycan. Quill Spray will remove the birds and the wolves in a matter of 3 stacks early on, or maybe 4, I guess. And that means if it's an extended team fight, I think EG will struggle to deal with this kind of control that Navi have through their supports as well.
Yeah, that's a great point, and it's especially relevant nowadays against Lycan because the Wolves were changed, I don't know, what was it, 6-9 months ago, where they used to have a lot more health, so better against physical damage, not good against magic. Their effective HP versus magic damage is extremely high, but Quills are physical. They do plant down an Observer Ward here. Vangscore narrowly dodging an early rotation from EG. They are so confident in their level 1, and to be fair, Batrider doesn't offer you too much. Lion's fairly weak there. But that obs place, or that little poke out from Vangscore, I should say, makes the difference. As EG did plant down an Observer, probably going to be dewarded. No, maybe Vangscore didn't see the ward drop. They have obs, and he might sentry in the wrong place, just judging by where he's headed. Well, we'll dodge first blood, and we get underway for Game 3 on an even footing for both teams. Winner faces Secret, guaranteed top 3 loser, will still be top 6, but not really a satisfying result for either of these teams who have won bigger accolades in the past. We've got Universe as your off-lane Ogre Magi, something fresh for him. PPD, support Vengeful Spirit as EG gets set on the Dire side. Zai on his Visage. We saw the Fear Visage once the other day, but it's to me still more of a Zai hero. He's got fantastic micro. You've got Arteezy going mid as the Lycan, and it leaves Fear as the safe lane Weaver. For your Radiant squad, Funnick on his go-to, that off-lane bat. Dendi going mid as the Brute, already punishing Arteezy. One clap and some auto text, bring him down to half health. Vangscore with an invis on that Lion, rotating towards mid. Maybe with a Hex they can threaten for a first blood if he walks forward a bit too far. Havos will be a Bristleback.
Awful luck on that Stout Shield to die from that.
And FNG is the Venomancer. They were thinking about it, but yeah, even with the 2.5 second Hex level 1, you got no damage. Havost, on the other hand, oh no, Grave Chill. He hasn't even taken his passive, and he just drops to EG. That early rotation, quick first blood for them.
This is a scary lane. The kill potential between these three heroes is extremely high, and there's no obvious target to go on either for Navi in this lane because they don't have burst damage. They need to build it up over time. They need to Gale, they need to start attacking. Coil Spray needs to stack up. So any sort of direct 3-on-3 engage in this lane, I think EG is going to crush them. They're not just going to win it. They're going to 2-0 or 3-0 them every single time. So Navi has to think outside the box here. They need to move their supports, or they need to secure some pulls, and most importantly, perhaps, secure both some farm. And the laning from EG is perfect so far.
They do have good cores to turn this around, though. Like, let's say they give up a couple more kills, EG, get their Ogre fat. They can start. They're probably not getting a kill mid, as Brew is a very tanky solo mid, and Lycan unlikely to do much against that passive evasion. They're going in again, though. No time to talk about that. FNG caught out by the initial stun of PPD. Follow-up was there from Universe. Clubs him down. Looks for Vangscore. Man, does he drop or what with the howl damage? And this is, again, one thing that's not changed about Lycan. You can nerf his ultimate, but he's still strong.
He's going to die here. No, he's not. It's a bait.
The turn. Havos overextends. He turns his back. He doesn't get that final Quill Spray, and Zai survives on a sliver of HP. 4-0 your start.
It seems like the way you counter Navi and try versus try is you make the clutch magic stick plays. This is what Secret did earlier today. And it's already starting to remind me of that game where you go aggressive into a lane of Navi where they make 1 or 2 mistakes and they fall behind and they just keep coming back for more.
They are not afraid.
They love dying in tri lanes. Let's get some more of those deaths racked up right here.
They're not afraid to take a licking, which can be good
to be careful now, though.
And can be bad.
This lane is lost. This is where Navi need to rotate their supports and accomplish something else. There's no
Phonic
way
might end
they
up
can
going
win
down
this.
here. That's a level 2 Visage. Gets the Soul Assumption. One more auto attack. Oh, it's just going from bad to worse. He did not expect that rotation at the top lane.
Yeah,
Man,
this game
that's
is
just that's kind of a lucky one, to be honest, for Zai. Like everything going EG's way. The tri-lane all on execution, but just TPing top happens to fight Phonic going for the small camp and just happens to be low enough for him to kill.
It's possible that Fear might have seen him move out there, though, so he could have called it.
True.
Or been like, okay, he's missing from the lane. Where could he possibly be? Probably somewhere in the jungle. So
I think the
I
main
think it was
thing here,
likely, but you're right. It was a gamble.
the main thing for EG with that rotation is like they've won the lane, right? So now they just want to get their levels on Visage. So I think Zai would have come here top anyway. But yeah, maybe he knew that the Batrider's in the jungle. Not sure if they knew exactly how low Zai was. And also there was a slow creep there, was the other thing. There was a ghost slowing him down. Might have been able to get out of vision in time otherwise.
It's true.
But Fear will pursue Phonic into the river. He walks back up the cliff. Fear engages. He still has Firefly. He'll be okay for now, up to the high ground. Trying to trade, but difficult to do it. He may actually have to abandon this lane. But EG aren't abandoning their offlane. They've got a level 4 Bruiser Ogre with his Orb of Venom picked up, the Magic Sticks online, and PPD has Howl damage at his side. They've even brought their Lycan into the jungle, just worried about Navi trying to do the same thing to them. Going for those rotations, going for those early ganks. And EG just are not giving up any mistakes. They sit way back behind the tower. FNG is in Viz trying to get in close, but he just can't do it.
Yeah, this bottom lane from EG is slowing down a little bit now, but they accomplished more than enough to just play it as a dual lane. They got what they came for. They're now going to try to get Visage to level 6 really early on. Zai currently level 4.5, which is extremely good 4.5 minutes in for a Visage. And with Arteeza just being able to rotate into the jungle, like you mentioned, they're just maximizing the efficiency of their lineup. They're winning all over the place right now. The graphs, they might not be dipping the most, but they're still dipping or stalling out. There's like no advantage being gained for Navi. And then you're approaching a mid game where I just favor EG way more if these familiars come up extremely early. Sure, you've got Bristle against it, but we were looking at Vost getting farmed in order to being able to take these fights. And for now, he's very fragile.
Yeah, and these will be pretty buffed up familiars with the Venge giving some additional damage and minus armor, and of course your Howl to boot.
Can you Bloodlust them?
I don't know.
Bloodlust can target Magic Immune now, right?
I think so. Let's check. Can be cast on spell immune units, yeah.
So I guess maybe you can give it to the bird. That's pretty legit.
For
For a couple of attacks and then they're still garbage. But
I wonder. Well,
if
are they
FNG's going to run
garbage?
into Universe, this is going to be a battle of two very slowed heroes when this Gale comes out.
Oh no,
They're both
he's not. The
waddling,
Oof
but-
is too strong. When Ogre can just walk up and club your Veno to death like that, that's a problem.
He's dominating, has a point booster already, and playing Ogre as a core, getting 4 kills early on, means that Aghanim Scepter could be sub 20.
It could be faster than that.
Yeah, and that's a way of dealing with the Brew. If they catch him off guard, they could just burst him down in one go.
They have the chain stun too. The early familiars, a multicast and a venge stun, that's a kill. Pretty much right there. What's our chat saying? About bloodlusted familiars. Anything good?
Just checking up on it. But I haven't seen it done, so I'm not sure if it's if it is possible. But I wouldn't be surprised if you could cast it on the familiars. It's like a
It's more of
It's
a
a gimmicky
it's more
play
of a for
anyway.
fun, less
Yeah,
of a like this is
exactly.
gonna win them the game kind of thing.
Exactly. But it's like a funny interaction if it does work. Well, Fear has almost managed to chip this top tower down to a quarter of health, so it's not going to take long before he starts moving even more aggressively in this top lane. And a problem for Navi is they have no hero that can stand against Weaver one-on-one right now. No matter who they send against Fear, he's going to bully them out of lane. He has the second highest farm in the game. Weaver, naturally a very potent hero at level 7.
Uh-oh.
And he'll just keep the pressure on. Oh, there are the familiars 7 minutes in.
Getting that kill on the offlane bat made a big difference. And then the other part is what you mentioned, which is just being able to give that lane to Lycan.
Oh,
And
man,
now
let's go
Zai
smoke
finds space
broke.
for it. Oh, these familiars hit too hard. He impales, but that doesn't stop you from the familiars to have additional Howl damage. There's a clap, though. This will be a nice kill for Denny. I think it's worth the split. He's going to pop it right now. On to Zai he goes. Arteezy's going to strut in. Zai still surviving for a time, and Grave Chills to boot, finally burning down. Now Denny's got to beat retreat. There's a Cyclone ready to go. Use it on the Venge. The Familiar still tracking him. Has a stun in 5. Won't be able to use it in time. So he gets a kill and a much-needed one. But,
And an early blink with that.
yeah, at the same time, Fear's picked up his Midas. And you look at Arteezy in the woods. Yeah, it's jungle creeps, but he's still nearly completed his Vlads through that. And Universe closing in on component number 2 of the eggs.
EG are getting everything they need. If this game just stays a 1,500 gold lead in their favor, just the way they're building up, I think as long as the bristle of Hvost isn't getting incredible farm and just getting flat out ahead of anyone, they
again.
do have the solutions. Oh boy.
It's basically just the summons getting these pickoffs. They end up finding FNG top lane, and they take a tower on top of the Fear Midas. The way to Roche will not lie open yet. These towers aren't so important for it, but it's more, now the Weaver can be more aggressive top lane. So at some point, NaVi have to invest more resources to deal with Fear, at which point then you can push mid, then you can push bottom. It's like a house of cards, this NaVi defense, and it begins to look shaky.
And just check out the level chart. This really tells a story, right? You're seeing, that's not the level chart.
Oh, the chart.
There we go. We use that a little bit too rarely. It can tell quite a big part of the story of the game, because there's one thing the experience difference, but how the levels are distributed. The supports for Navi are level 4. Vanscore's going to stay level 4 for a bit. It's going to take the club.
He keeps on getting these last hits. I actually think it's a big problem. Like, I'd even rather have these kills on, like, maybe the Weaver or the Lycan. Universe is going to blow up heroes solo instantly. This Ags you said 20 minutes. It could be 13 minutes, dude.
Yeah, this is insane farm for him. It's 27 CS, which is not really impressive in 10 minutes, but just all the kills going his way. I think he even got the first blood gold as well. He might have at least.
Yeah, I believe so.
It's getting out of control, to be honest. And with this, again, these underleveled supports for Navi can't do anything yet. Finger of Death is a crucial part of their kit in order to be able to deal with this Weaver, for example. And we're looking at maybe 15 minutes for that at this rate. They're going to try for a lasso top. They will get it on Fear. There's the Impale connector. Can they bring him down with a Hex? They're going to try, yes. With the lasso, the blink from Funnick. That's how they can kill the Weaver for now.
Yeah, and that is the thing with the Midas build. You go for this build, if you're punished in like the next few minutes, you are an extremely squishy bug. But you let him get the ultimate orb maybe, or the treads, and suddenly the Midas has been compensated for normally enough. But during this time, EG, they know Lasso's down, they go into the Roche pit. It's the power of the Lycan. He has a double damager into boot just to make this an easy Roche. And Navi either have no idea or just don't care. They're off in the dire jungle, searching for pickoffs. Aegis will go the way of Artur.
And they're in position to defend mid as well. This is effectively
There
a
is
wasted
a Bruce
smoke,
split,
unless
though.
if Demi can get the opener.
He goes in, straight onto Zai. The swap out from PPD was there, but he got impaled by the Lion, who immediately gets finished off by the Ogre, clubbed again to death. The Brute is just dealing with Navi right now, and Universe begins to work on your Bristleback. He'll have another stun soon. He almost has the Ags already. He needs one more component. He's 150 gold short. It's going to be even faster than a 13-minute Ags. We're looking at a 12-minute one, perhaps.
And the insane thing about it is, since it got changed so it's percentage-based how much mana the Fire Blast costs, he'll always have that double Fire Blast combo, unless if he's below 125 mana. There is just no solution to this whatsoever. This might beat the record of the fastest Ags on Ogre by like minutes, and he's not even playing it as a farmer. He played it as an off.
If it's not in any pro match, it's got to be for like a major LAN match. That's for damn sure. There just has not been that much pro Ogre play. And he's 100 gold short, and they're stacking up the Midas. I think you can get away with as much greed as you want, because the Familiars, the Venge, and the Ogre by themselves can kill any hero on the map, and Navi are having to blow things like Split just to kill off the support Visage.
They're totally outclassed in this game. I mean, just as much as Navi dominated that first game, I think this is even more impressive just by how much EG has managed to accomplish early on with their lanes. Just really running Navi over in that bot lane 3-on-3. Their solos have been doing well too, and they're just making all the right calls and all the right decisions right now. Like, I don't know, 12 minutes!
That has to be a record. Or
there is no way that's not a record.
It's on the top, like what, top 5 to 10 at the very least.
It might even be a record compared to solo mid ogres or even safe laners, because this is, you won't even get it this fast with free farm.
Yeah, just a direct comparison isn't even the right way to do it, because it's an aggressive tri-lane ogre that was then left alone as they rotated the Visage top. I mean, he had a little bit of help from the Venge. That's ridiculous. Fear running by Sakuchi will Funnick go for a blink in and a lasso attempt, not going to bother. look for Universe to get active. He doesn't even have a point in Bloodlust. Yes, this Aghanim's is so fast. Not that it matters, but that's just a sign of how quickly he's obtained it.
And the pressure's just going to be put on now by EG. They've got Arteezy pushing in the bot lane. He's feeling very safe with his haste rune, even the Aegis, so he can die first and then pop the haste if he wants to. And at the same time, EG have gathered 4 heroes in the mid lane to try to push, or sorry, 3 heroes. Fear's heading up top. They're basically pushing 2 lanes at once while defending the third with a Weaver now. That's how confident they are. Dendy's going to go in.
He does split, and this is one thing Universe can't deal with. He'll be Cyclone, ignored for now, and they'll focus down Zai. Familiars, though, preventing that chase from the Fire Pan. Almost enough they do get the kill on Zai. Now, trying to turn back for Universe. And perhaps if they just surround him with 4 heroes, they can, but the multicast is there. Still gets the counter kill. Actually, was that just the double nuke? I don't know if it was a multi. Either way.
I think it was just 2 fire blasts.
Yeah, I think it was the unrefined and the regular. I was getting excited. Ogre
and
always
EG
excites
need
me.
to be a little careful here. They got a little bit too greedy there, and a good play from Dendy to see the opening in the map. He saw how EG's heroes were spread out, and that fight was one they could take and one they would win. So,
I mean, is it
slight
fair?
bit of greed there.
Oh, bottom lane. Arteezy diving. Funnick going to try to worm his way through the trees. He'll go down once. Arteezy, the big bad wolf, is about to be the Wolverine. Not
Skewer
so scary.
kebab.
He's going to come back in a slow form. Wolves are on the chase, though. PPD is about to join him. And they dive onto FNG, looking for the body blocks. They'll be there. Oh, no. Don't let PPD get in range for this stun. Really nice blocking from Arteezy. Dat micro. Very solid. This
And
man
just
knows
as
how to play
Navi
his
got
leg
those
in.
kills mid, and also managed to do some damage to the top tower, they end up losing 2 heroes bottom, and now the tower will probably fall shortly after. So everything they just gained, they lost again. And we even out at about 5k.
And they get some good observer wards down, and this will allow them to
Oh,
get a... Oh, Vine score, there's a finger. He's dead.
PPD, the D's for dead.
Peter. They're going to have to finger them. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, wow. He was really holding on to that. I'm wondering if he's like DCing.
The manner pause from Funnick. Guys, get your pitchforks out. Let's get some threads going. Incredible BM here from Navi.
Let's get some threads going. LD, saltiest caster of the day.
Saldi.
Saldi.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I'm looking forward. The Ags has been out for what, like already 2-3 minutes. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Universe can achieve with this.
It's very important that Dendy keeps cycloning him in every fight. He's the #1 cyclone target because they don't want to focus the Ogre. It's going to take too long, and it opens up for Arteezy and Fear to start dealing damage. So if they can keep cycloning him and lock onto 1 or 2 targets, it is definitely possible still for them to take these fights. And they got a couple of key items. There's a Crimson Guard completed by Hrost, and Dendy also getting the Vlad. So a lot of armor and defensive capability against this heavy physical lineup now available.
Well, it is heavy physical, but like you said, the Ogre is the X factor of massive magical burst. Something that Navi have no solution for. No cloaks, only bonus HP right now on Avos. We will unpause and get back into it momentarily. Here we go. 14-7 your score. EG with a commanding early game lead of 5k gold, 5k experience. They also have the double Midas working in their favor, and they have a sturdy backbone of gank and lockdown from Zai on his Visage, Universe on the Ogre, and of course the PPD. Venge, they did lose their Aegis for Arteezy when he went for that dive. And Roche is, let's see, he was going to lose the Aegis about now anyway, at least 3 minutes, maybe 6 off. But they're probably going to be in position to take this one, Sin. The mid tower dropping quickly to Howl damage familiars. Bottom lane was brought low by Arteezy. If they can just clear out those 2 towers, Navi may just struggle to get to the Roche in time, even though I think if they got there, their team fight is
That's a fast
decent.
respawn as well.
Yeah. Oh, man, that is.
That's really fast. That's like
Wait,
5
no,
seconds
this
above
is
minimum.
before it tells you, right? Because that, I don't think it's announced how long it is yet.
I'm pretty sure it said 3:08 the moment the text came up.
Oh, on the right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the minimum was obviously 3 minutes. So that was really, really short. And a little bit of RNG going EG's way, because I guess we can say with pretty much 100% certainty that EG will be getting that Roche. And getting that in 3 minutes is a good timing. It's probably around the time that Arteezy will either have a BKB or a Necro Book level 3 if that's what he wants to get. And that could just put them in a position where they want to start taking the remainder of the towers here. Which are still remaining for Navi. They have 4 towers remaining. And they're gathering up top. I think this is a good call. Like, just try to get some sort of momentum going on out on the map. And this tower is definitely theirs. But looks like they will be trading.
They are starting to bring reinforcements towards mid. Dendi has a split ready. Fear starting to retreat out.
Very nice glyph. This could be a deny here for us. It will be.
Tower denied. They also took the tier 1 top uncontested. The Bat Rider got the last hit. That closes Funnick in on his 4 staff. In fact, he's basically got it. And considering that EG have 2 Midases, and right now, let's see, 1, 2, 3 towers to
Oh, he's going to find Arteezy. Does he want to try for this? Yes, he does.
He doesn't have ult for 8 seconds because he used it to farm earlier, but he may be able to get off in time. When he stops to transform, though, perhaps they can get a range.
Oh,
that was an unfortunate
That
flavor.
went the wrong way.
Drunken Haste, he's just going to gallop off. Yeah, then he runs back in.
Well, a little bit undecisive.
Make up your mind, Arteezy.
He wants to Midas. Efficiency. Wow, really? That's just taunting the enemy doing that. Like,
Right.
but he knows there's no way he's going to die when the lasso is down because Lion doesn't have a blink. And they have no other way of initiating on him. If Dendi blinks splits, he's actually out before the toss can even come off.
Yeah, and even if, let's say, you get that initial boulder toss, like by the time it hits him, he's like half the screen away anyway. Well, that would have been different with the Funnick 4 staff, which now he has if he goes back to base and buys it. But PPD's on the move. He's got a lumbering ogre backing him up, and they get eyes on FNG. But then PPD backs up at the moment the Universe walks in. Now he tries to TP out. Is there anything to cancel this? Vayne score? If he had run the other way, they might have done it. Now on to PPD. Dendi will go. Oh, now he can't split. Good reactions by PPD. He was going to split for that kill, though. He was ready for it.
Yeah, and he would have got it as well. And at this point, just use your ultimates and try to get kills if you're NaVi. I think saving it for a big team fight is a bit too risky instead of just getting single pickoffs. Because
and EG just aren't gunning for those with this Weaver Lycan.
Dire's bottom tower.
That's the thing. They might not even get these 5-on-5 engages because EG's lineup is just so good at split pushing. So it's up to NaVi to group up. They've grouped up 4 here in the bottom lane. The top lane, Funnick taking some pretty good damage here from Fear.
And they may go in soon. Ogre and Venge holding the line have both still standing together with his teammates. And Dendi has completed the Vlads, as he mentioned. Good physical damage mitigation. Puts a little more pressure on Universe to
This tower's
get
gone.
lucky.
Deny not happening.
Oh. Arteezy does have like 200 damage, but just couldn't swing those blades in time. Still, Fear is using this to good effect. Pushes in the top lane again. The Weaver continues to apply pressure. It's slow pressure, but it is pressure nonetheless. And although Funnick may chase, he can break this Lincoln Sphere. He can even lasso, but do they really have the burst to get this kill? Oh, they do with Vayne score. Where's that lasso? He backed off. Blink dagger in 3 seconds. I think it's too late. He didn't think they could get that kill.
They might have been able to pull that off if Vanscore dropped the sentry, but I guess he might have expected that they wouldn't be able to catch up, so yeah, perhaps
it's either Funnick gave up or he thought the Fear was going to double back, and he didn't.
Oh yeah, wait, never mind. They didn't break the Lincolns, right?
No, he forced that.
He did force that. Yeah. Okay, so then, yeah, maybe they could have gone it then. Well, there's the fast Roche that EG checked for.
That's a gimme. Jesus.
Man, this Arteezy Lycan's going to have the Necro 3 now. His farm is pretty exceptional here.
And it's with Bloodlust at his side and the Venge aura.
1,000 net worth 20 minutes in. That's a GPM of about 600. Vlad's Aegis, Midas, and a Necrobook 3. And generally when you're looking at a Lycan, you're like, sub 20 minutes Necro 3 treads is in some games acceptable. Most times you want to have another item, either a Medallion or a Vlad's with it. He has that on top of a Midas. I mean,
it's exceptional. And he wasn't farming that well early. That's the other thing. He was losing the lane to Dendi, as you'd expect for a Lycan. He claps, he right-clicks you can't really harass him with wolves. Even if you control the runes, the brew still dominates your lane. He even rotated to the jungle. His farm was like a solid 1,500 down on Fear. He was behind Dendi. And even with all of that, he's still way ahead of the average curve for a Lycan pick. That is a true testament to his comeback potential and just the amount of space that these early rotations for PPD, Universe, and Zai have created.
And they're just good old classic EG style. They're going to keep up the farming. It's one thing that characterizes this team is that they almost never back down on farm unless they have to. So when they're leading, they will find farm. If they're behind, as long as part of the map is under their control, they will always be looking for the gold. And even though they're in a position where it's pretty likely that they can start sieging Tier 2 towers, they're not going to do it until they feel comfortable that they have the exact amount of farm they're looking for. Oh, that Atos came out of nowhere. Funnick was not expecting that.
Familiar stun?
Oh, boy.
Jeez, he just got splatted. Fear will push
Interesting
in.
Atos pickup. I think they mainly got it to counter out the Bristleback in this case, just to slow him down in the fight and disallow him from chasing down the birds. It's an interesting counter that mainly benefits Zai himself.
It's kind of like a ghetto Yules when the Batrider blinks in as well. Oh, that's your first multicast of the game. Man, it's been a while since we've gotten to see this Ogre get active. And on the other side of the map, it's Arteezy, who may be punished. Aegis going to drop here. They're bringing in reinforcements. But Havo still has the Crimson Guard to activate, and they know that Lycan ult's down. Oh, just kidding. Fear joining the fray, and Fear just starts to go to work with the Crimson Guard. Havost is basically immortal, but this will wear off soon. Instead, they go for Dendy, who did not get the buff. They may try to force out his ultimate. No, turning back onto Havost. They go. Where's the multicast? Just the instant double. I think a triple stun in the end there. No, that was just the unrefined Fire Blast. And in the end, they get the kill. Oh, no, sorry. It was the Ignite he did not cast. Yeah, he did get the double stun.
It's so incredible with that Axe and Ogre. He can keep throwing a stun every 6 seconds for like 0 mana. And it has the full multicast potential and damage. It's just... Man.
He hasn't even been getting
What a
that
hero.
lucky yet. Like, we still haven't seen
No.
him get to level 16 and unleash the full wrath. But
I mean, he has a 50% chance of getting a 2x and a 20% chance of getting a 3x, and we've barely seen 2x's so far, so...
I'm just waiting for the 8x, the double 4s.
Yeah.
Come up flush.
And then the Refresher Orb. 16 times multicast. It's very few heroes surviving
We
that.
may just see Na'Vi throw down their headsets and walk out of the building if that happens.
That might kill Bristleback even from behind. Although he might survive 16 Fire Blasts with his back turned if he has a cloak. It's kind of scary to think about, but I think he could.
This sounds like if there was like math class in the Dota world, you know, like you sit down at a desk and they like bring a Bristleback out for a demonstration.
Oh, demonstration's going to be done here by Fear, demonstrating how to get stunned by Lion, but also how to use your
Meanwhile,
liquids very
Arteezy's been chased. They used a Brew Split on the Lycan. They will lose their Batrider. Everybody from EG congregating mid lane. So, in the jump that you were talking about, they get the kill there. And they cyclone up the Ogre. Now they want to run the hell away. And they will do so. So it's a Brew Split that, well, didn't really accomplish too much. They end up losing their bat and getting nothing in return.
Radiant's bottom tower
And that's just a free tower for EG bottom. And maybe even another one.
I think you go further. You know Brew Split's down. And Lasso was used.
they could technically just get all the tier 2s based off the fact that Primal Split is down. That's enough. Like, the team fighting potential from Na'Vi completely relies on the Primal Split. But EG are a little bit wounded. Zai less than half health. They have moved Arteezy to the top lane as well. So maybe they're content with what they got for now, which was certainly a good deal. Man, 14,000 gold. I feel like we haven't looked at these graphs for a while, and this is... I mean, it's one-sided. It's more one-sided than I thought, even. 20k on the experience, but double Midas, you're winning anyway. You were winning from minute 0, pretty much, in that trial lane. I guess it's kind of inevitable.
That was a really smart... Like, as soon as they saw Ogre was going to get an Eggs that fast, yeah, it hasn't done anything, but the threat that it presents allows them to get away with this.
Yep.
And it also goes back to the draft initially where they picked a line to try and deal with a Weaver, but once this Weaver gets Lincolns, like, you need absolute perfect chainsaw and probably a blink on the line to secure a kill.
And now it's a BKB as well, so forget about that.
And then the Desolator not too far off, up to 850 gold, at which point I think EG can just rat this one. Maybe even they could just brute force it, which would be a true testament to how far ahead they
The
are.
dangerous thing for Na'Vi is they probably have weaker late game as well. There's the BKB. Oh, a little bit of a missed swap
Great
here.
turn from EG. They were waiting for this opening. They throw out the double stung. And then Arteezy chases in for more. And he stops galloping. He just inches forward. Very restrained approach from the Wolf.
It's going to take a true miracle for Na'Vi to pull this back. They have weaker late game. They've been run over in the part of the game that they kind of drafted for being able to deal some damage in. Now the Crimson Guard is popped. This is go time for Na'Vi.
Arteezy doesn't have his ult anymore, and he is being focused as Denny blinks and claps him. They go hard on the Wolf. They'll bring him down, still a 2-for-1. They've already lost their Batrider as well as their Lion and retreating out of Zai, pursued by the Brew Split. Familiar's there to try and support him, but he gets focused. The Fire Panda dropping. Zai still surviving for a very long time. Will he finally be finished off by Dendy? He's still standing through it, and Dendy's forced to blink out while he was busy hunting Zai. The rest of his team falls, and with that last multicast, that might be the punch in the mouth that knocks Na'Vi out of the game. Funnick even tried to BOT in to 5 heroes. I mean,
Radiant's top
He
tower
quickly tried to cancel it and was successful.
Yep.
So that's good. Else he would have that would have been not a dieback, but just a
I can't
respawn
tell
back
if you're
to
being sarcastic or not.
I wasn't.
Okay.
That was a good cancel. That would not have worked out. The odds of that being a successful gank from him were very low. Oh, hunting the birds. He will get one.
That's Sind analysis.
No, he misclicked.
Oh, he
No, I
misclicked
can't hit
again.
it. Oh, I got it.
Okay. All right, he got the bird. Now they can come back.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic right now.
The hour grows late, especially for NaVi. A loss here means you have to wake up pretty... If you win this game, you get to wait until the very end of day number 3, watch all the lower bracket matches, then you play the winner bracket finals. Should you lose that, you still have the rest of the day off. You come back the next day, and you just have to play at most 2 games, a BO3 and a BO5, if you're the lower bracket.
And I believe Starladder still works with best of... winner's bracket advantage, right, in the grand finals.
Yeah,
so it's
so
best of 5 with a 1-0 for the winner bracket.
It's so, I mean, as it is for most LAN tournaments, you know, you don't get the teams for TI level duration where you can spread everything out to a ridiculous extent. Winning those games and coming from the winner bracket, or even if you don't go all the way to the finals that way, it just gives you such an edge in terms of rest, preparation, and EG are desperate for it. They get to sleep in if they win this. NaVi will be waking up pretty damn early if they don't. And it's looking like they can't.
Yeah, now another Roche is going to go EG's way in about 15 seconds if they check it. They already have an illusion of PPD in there that's going to outlast the respawn timer, so they'll be claiming another one. Then I think it's base go time. I think they have everything they need. The Weaver will now have an MKB or a Daedalus for that base push pretty much by using the Midas, and maybe even getting a kill on Funnick here, who's going to... Wow, that hurts. That really does hurt. Fear is going to use the BKB. Will get a Geminate off as well.
Really nice movement. Just walks right up to the cliff so that his hero won't path around to the side and make sure he gets the double auto attack off. And Roche now respawns. Did they actually get vision? Oh, they're sending the familiar in, so they're going to know soon. EG closing in. This might be the Aegis that does NaVi in. They're going to have a Desolate. Well, they have the Desolate on RTZ. They have the MKB you mentioned, pretty much ready to go, or maybe just go straight Daedalus. Either way, he'll have a big damage item. Against the Brew, it seemed the MKB is the choice. And then I think EG just forces Sind.
It's unbelievable how fast this Roche dies to 2 heroes. The Weaver wasn't even there.
Yeah, I moved my camera just to show the
PPD.
Weaver, and it was dead when I came back.
If you put the Visage in there with the Medallion and Fear attacking it with Bloodlust as well, you're looking at pretty much literally a 5-second Roshan kill for EG. That's how strong they are right now.
That's without his ult too. Like he's not even getting that crit chance.
And we're now approaching the point when EG has gained 1,000 XP per minute more than NaVi. 29 minutes in, XP lead of about 25,000. The gold, 20K.
Goddamn.
And what do NaVi do here? It has to be a desperation play. They need a 5-on-5 team fight.
Can't base race. You have no push. You have to fight.
No chance at all.
But you really can't fight either.
Team fight, split, try to control the... I don't know if you control the Ogre anymore. If you control Arteezy, that might be a better idea now. He just still doesn't have a BKB, so you can Cyclone him. But Fear is the bigger damage threat now, I feel.
And they just walk in. They're ignoring heroes for now. Well, Fear isn't. He surges onto Vangscore BKBs in the nick of time. That's a 3-shot onto 1. He dives FNG. He's going to back off now and make sure that he's there with his team when they focus the votes. Multicast 2 times.
They're 4-on-5.
They have cheese, but they're morphing up the Lycan. Oh, he's going to scurry away. They don't want to blow their cheese yet.
They're like, Zai, do you want to win the game with us? No, I'm farming mid. Okay. Well, we're going to wait a little bit then.
Yeah.
They're actually doing exactly that. They're going to go back.
They could have cheesed and tried to keep on engaging, but that's just not worth the risk.
Oh, he's going to find a regen rune instead. That's better, right? Whoa.
Oh, he had to farm his Ethereal Blades in so that they can literally one-shot the Brew.
With multicast.
Yeah. That's going to
Soul Assumption also hits pretty hard with this.
Someone is going to just cry to this combo. Tears will be shed by grown men live here in Kiev. This goes beyond Dota now.
It's a matter of pride.
Or humiliation, depending on which team you're on. NaVi, I mean, you said they like to... They're slightly masochistic in their style. Well, they'd better be able to take a punishment. Because EG are looking to deliver it.
And I think EG are just having a good time right now. This is not the kind of item that you would usually expect coming out of the Visage. By no means is it a troll item. It's not like he's just playing around with NaVi, but it still perhaps wouldn't be his regular approach if this game were close. He might have gone for something like Kiras or Shiva's Guard, which we often see, but he doesn't need to.
It doesn't help you kill buildings. That's the one thing. Like, if you really want to win this game safely for EG, you just need to worry about racks, and I think even the Ags is probably the choice for that, but this is great for killing heroes.
great for the stats.
Dandy, oh no. Stun number 1. Where's that multicast? There's a double. He's still not getting the full possibilities out of his Ogre, and it's plenty good.
Ogre has such a good voice acting.
The voice acting, just the whole hero concept, the amount of frustration it instills into your opponents.
Mid lane, Funnick.
He blinked in, he didn't get off anything, and now he'll be turned on with familiars, and a very angry Wolf charging in. He just gets thrown up into the air, blasted back down. NaVi herded like cattle deep behind their base. Vangscore will be dove as Fear commits to this one. He'll time lapse out as the killing blow connects. That is a BKB down. Maybe they don't even end the game now, but they just continue to farm heroes. Bottom lane, oh yeah, that's Arteezy. Forcing out a glyph, hollowing out your tier 3 tower. And it is 3 heroes dead in the end over the past couple of seconds. They'll push in, still have Cheese, still have Aegis, and have buybacks on the Weaver, on the Ogre. 29-8 the score, 32 minutes. NaVi, their pulse
Look at those buildings.
is threaded.
Disappear.
They are just deleting this.
3-second Raxing here by Evil Geniuses, and they're going to go on to the next one. For some reason, backdoor protection on this.
This is like in
Seems a
SimCity.
little arbitrary sometimes, whether that's on or not.
You know when you turn on editor mode in SimCity and you just can like start deleting buildings? That's like what's happening for EG right now. They're just like using the eraser and it magically disappears.
Would you like to sell your barracks for a 75% mineral refund?
Can we get like 4 items?
Bat Rider.
They do get Universe. That's a nice pick-off. But still, it's already 1 lane down, and it's Fear again with this BKB. No mercy for Vangscore. Punishes him while on the other side of the fight. Zai engages. There's a buyback from the Ogre, and Arteezy will BKB. He's got Cheese. He just wants to tank up while the Ogre dishes out the real damage. BKB was used by Evost, but the Fire Panda, that'll be the Ogre's choice. And now BKB for Evost about to wear off. He's pursued out. He manages to kill off the Familiars, but 1 more auto attack or 2. Wave of Terror finishes the kill. That's 3 dead. Buybacks. Really fairly limited here for NaVi. They've got 2. Up to the high ground goes Dendy. Multicast, where is it? Not in sight.
Multicast the Ignite.
Oh well.
Can't get lucky anytime, it seems. Has he even had a 3x yet?
He is a terrible Ogre Magi player.
Yeah.
I don't think Universe should be allowed to play this hero again.
Yeah, really underperforming in this game.
Fortunately, he's getting
the
carried.
multicasting a little bit more.
And they're looking for 2 lanes of Rex.
Yeah, the
There's
most
your
important
2
thing Universe did was in the first 5 minutes of the game anyway. That's kind of where he really needed to shine, and when he did, that was a Bristleback who used to be kind of tanky in this game.
Also deleted from the game.
Just removed.
GG for EG. It's got to be a very exciting, well, I don't know if exciting, but relieving moment for them. They had a bit of a scare after that game 1, but it shows the poise of this team. They finished top 3 at TI for a reason and almost went further. They've done at least decently at pretty much every LAN event they go to. And Sin, I don't think they'll be satisfied with this, though. They came to Starladder last time. They had a great group stage. They started off decently in the playoffs. They took down Alliance in that nail-biting 2-1 finish. The game went super late. And then they ended up falling short. They dropped down to the lower bracket. Empire beat them, finished second, and got that final match versus DK. EG's work is not done here, but they're off to a good start.
Yeah. This game 3 in particular, I think, might have been the most dominating performance out of any team we've seen in the tournament, apart from Secret's game number... No, that was just the group stage against NaVi. That wasn't even a best of 3. Like
they gave No-Tail the Wisp and the Necrolite for Krokian.
And I think tomorrow when these teams are going to meet, EG versus Team Secret to end off the day, that's going to be the final best of 3 at that point. That is going to be an amazing match. I think Secret got their act together today and are looking much stronger going for tomorrow. And EG, apart from the game number 1, where I don't really feel like they played bad, it was more of a drafting issue / NaVi playing a really good game there. EG for me is still looking like the number 1 stable team of the tournament that plays at the highest level in most games. And when they play their best, I still consider them the favorite against Secret.
Yeah, and so tomorrow the way it's going to work is we run through your first round lower bracket matches, so Alliance versus Execration, Cloud9 versus VP. Then the winners move on to play Tinker, NaVi respectively. We'll have our winner bracket finals to round out the day, and then we go into day 2, loser bracket small final, loser bracket finals, and then the grand final. So 2 best of 3s, 1 best of 5 to round that day off. That's pretty much it. It's been a long day. We need to get some sleep, guys. Thank you all for watching Starladder Season 10. I'm LD. He's Cinder, and of course we were joined here by Shiver, as well as Zayori and Merlini. hopefully they'll get some sleep. We're getting some waves for now. At Cheever Gaming, you can follow her. At Sayori TV, at Sundrin Dota, and of course at Merlini Dota. From all of us here, we wish you a good night. Get some sleep. We'll be back early tomorrow.
esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone.
We have over 200,000 users registered.
Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate